Ever notice the kid who spends hours buried in textbooks barely passes, while the one playing sports somehow gets better grades and more sleep? Sounds backwards, right? Here's the savage truth. Sports don't steal your study time, but they actually make your brain sharper, boost focus, and make studying feel almost easy. If you think focus is built by staring at a book until your brain melts, you've been lied to. Focus is built the same way athletes build muscles, through discipline, energy management, and recovery. Stay with me till the end, because I'm about to drop the one sports habit that'll turbocharge your focus and make your grades practically cheat themselves, something almost no study hack dares to mention. Part 1. Sports turn your brain into a supercomputer. Let's kill the biggest myth. If I spend time on sports, I'll have less time for studying. Wrong! Here's what science says. Exercise increases blood flow to your brain, which means better memory, sharper focus, and higher energy levels, and also releases neurotransmitters like dopamine, serotonin, and endorphin. Think of your brain like a smartphone. Studying nonstop is like using your phone at 2% battery on power-saving mode. Sports? That's the charger. Ever notice how after a workout you feel clear, sharp, unstoppable? That's your brain saying, thanks for not treating me like garbage. So yeah, that 1 hour wasted at practice might save you 3 hours of foggy, useless studying. Part 2. Discipline greater than motivation. Here's why most students fail. They think they need motivation. Motivation is weak. It shows up when it wants. Athletes don't rely on motivation, they rely on discipline. And sports hardwire discipline into your system because you can't cram practice the night before the big game. You show up daily, even when you're tired. That habit transfers straight to academics. Ever notice how athletes manage to study even when they're exhausted? Because their brain is trained to perform on schedule. Meanwhile, the average student is still negotiating with themselves. Should I study now or later? Savage fact. Sports don't just build your body. They build your ability to sit your ass down and do the hard thing when you don't feel like it. That's the skill 99% of students lack. Part 3. The feedback loop of sports. Here's what textbooks don't teach you: fast feedback. In school, you bomb a test and find out 2 weeks later. Too late to fix it. In sports, you screw up, you know immediately. Wrong pass, you lose the ball. Miss the shot. Scoreboard doesn't lie. That trains your brain to process failure as feedback, not identity. So when an athlete fails an exam, they don't cry into their pillow for a week. They think, cool, how do I fix it? That resilience makes you unstoppable in school. Because truth bomb, your success depends less on how smart you are and more on how fast you recover. Part 4. Energy management like an athlete. Most students study like zombies. 6 straight hours, barely blinking, half on Instagram, half on notes. That's not focus, that's torture. Athletes, they work in intervals. Push hard, rest, push hard again. That's why they can sustain energy all game long. Apply that to studying. 45 minutes full study, 10-minute real break. Repeat, do that. And you'll cover more in 2 hours than most students do in 6. Sports teach you rhythm. And rhythm beats raw hours every time. Part 5. Teamwork makes you smarter. Here's something school doesn't grade you on, but life absolutely will. Teamwork. Athletes learn to work with others, lead under pressure, and communicate when it matters. So when it comes to group projects or presentations, athletes crush it. They don't freeze up. They've already performed under way more pressure, usually in front of an audience. LeBron James often talks about how basketball taught him to lead, read situations, and trust teammates. Skills he applies off the court in business and philanthropy. Part 6. Confidence equals academic superpower. Let's be real, nothing kills focus faster than self-doubt, and nothing builds confidence faster than sports. You don't need to be the star athlete, and just showing up, improving, competing, builds this quiet confidence that bleeds into everything else. When you start seeing yourself as someone who shows up and delivers, it changes your whole student identity. You're no longer the kid procrastinating on assignments. You're the kid who executes, now on the field and on the page. Sports give you a new story to tell yourself. I don't quit. I perform. That mindset alone boosts your grades because you stop seeing hard work as optional. Part 7. The balance myth. Now, here's the argument people make. If I focus on sports, my grades will drop. Big no, grades drop when you have no system. Sports force you into one. Athletes don't waste 5 hours scrolling TikTok. They don't have time. They study smarter, tighter, more efficient. Here's the reality check. The smartest students aren't the ones grinding 24/7. They're the ones who sharpen their brain the same way they sharpen their body. Sports build discipline, resilience, energy management, teamwork, confidence. That's a cheat code for better grades, focus, and life skills. Now here's the tip I promised if you stayed till the end. Pick one sport, commit to just 3 sessions per week, and track your mental energy like a science experiment. You'll notice that not only does your focus explode, your assignments get done faster, and your motivation skyrockets, all without studying more. So the question is simple. Are you going to sit scrolling, or are you going to train your brain the way athletes do? Your grades, your focus, and your future self will thank you.